Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. What's going on in your world? Everything good? COVID-19 Tuesday, August 11th, Coffee Conversations with Greg J is on the air. Everybody breathe. Check in with us. We're on. This is an exciting day, a great day. Glad that we are up. Glad that we are well. How are you doing? How's the family? Everybody good? Ah, boy. Coffee Conversations with Greg J. We're making it through this thing. We're dedicated to sharing, arts, culture, culturally relevant all across the world. That's what we're doing right here. It's Black Restaurant Week. Big foodie like I am, I'm kind of excited about this conversation right here. This ought to be awesome, fun, and I guess because we're quarantined, it can't be delectable. But maybe if I get my mask and get in the car and go around town, I can get me some Hotville wings and some one of those outstanding burgers over there at the Watts Coffee House, and then go over there on Crenshaw to get me a big, ginormous plate of soul food, smothered chicken, and whatnot. We had to plan a trip down there to Houston. Coffee Conversations with Greg J. Let's get into this headlines and we'll get right into the meat of the matter here. Let's see here. Yeah, California judge has ordered Uber and Lyft to reclassify their workers from independent contractors to employees with benefits, a ruling that could be consequential for the gig economy workers if it survives the appeals process. Superior Court Judge Ethan Schulman ruled Monday that Lyft and Uber's thousands of contract drivers should be given the same protections and benefits under labor law as other full-time employees of the ride-hailing companies. This is really important for us to watch, you all, as we come into these elections. Prop 22, look that up, research it. Got a lot to say about that, but there it is, Prop 22. People in China are back to buying German luxury cars. Europe's assembly lines are accelerating. Now the global economy is waiting for the United States to get its coronavirus outbreak under control and boost the recovery, but there's little sign of that. The United States' fumbling response to the pandemic and its dithering over a new aid package is casting doubt on its economic prospects and making it one of the chief risks to a global rebound. After springtime restrictions, many U.S. states prematurely declared victory over the virus, and they began to reopen their economies, leading to a resurgence in COVID-19 cases. Confirmed infections are rising in most states, and many businesses have had to scale back or even cancel plans to reopen. And while it does not dominate global commerce like it did 20 years ago, America is still by far the biggest economy, accounting for 22% of total economic output versus 14% for number two, China, according to the World Bank. And the number of confirmed coronavirus cases worldwide topped 20 million, more than half of them from the United States, India, and Brazil, as Russia on Tuesday became the first country to approve a vaccine against the virus. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that one of his two adult daughters had already been inoculated with the cleared vaccine, and he described it as effective. He says she's feeling well and has a high number of antibodies. Russia has reported more than 890,000 cases, the fourth highest total in the world. I know you're thinking about it. Lots of people around me are thinking about it. Everybody's thinking about this. Public schools reopening, and as public schools grapple with the challenge of reopening during this pandemic, public education advocates are criticizing Education Secretary Betsy DeVos for working remotely from Michigan, where she owns a sprawling waterfront estate with round-the-clock security detail paid for by taxpayers. And while keeping herself largely physically distanced as the coronavirus continues to spread, DeVos has been a forceful advocate for President Donald Trump's demand that schools reopen in full and in person, potentially placing millions of teachers and students at risk of infection. It's a striking bit of mixed messaging for DeVos. She's a billionaire. She's a major GOP donor. She's a charter school advocate, and she's had no previous experience with public education before she became education secretary. She is the nation's top education official, and the school administrators deal with one of the biggest health crises facing the nation: how to safely bring 51 million American children back into classrooms or administer virtual education during a pandemic. The NAACP says that, hey, it's also exposed severe racial inequalities that continue to plague the country's education system and disadvantage students of color. Rather than addressing those problems, NAACP President Derek Johnson declared that the U.S. Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, exploited the pandemic to promote her personal agenda of funneling taxpayer dollars to private schools. So they're taking her to court. The NAACP formally filed a lawsuit in federal court accusing DeVos of illegally changing the rules for allocating $13.2 billion in coronavirus aid to benefit wealthy private K-12 schools. Lastly, we offer our deepest condolences to radio listeners and broadcast professionals all across Southern Africa as they mourn the passing of Bob Mabena, who died yesterday. I want to let y'all know here in the U.S. that in South Africa and associated regions, this broadcaster, he's about the same, ranking of, say, a Tom Joyner or Frank Ski or Ricky Smiley, Hall of Fame legacy. Important broadcaster, important to the history of liberation and struggle, important voice of communications there in South Africa and around that general region. Rest in peace, Bob. Rest in peace, sir. Rest in peace. All this and more, beachcityradio.com, beachcityradio.com, and still they have not charged the officers responsible for the death of Breonna Taylor. Man, this COVID-19 world is topsy-turvy, right? Seeing entire industries having to pivot and redirect their main product. In the worst cases, they stop entirely. The restaurant industry is an essential category that's been fundamentally affected by the pandemic. You're seeing closures. You're seeing restaurants go to takeout only. You're seeing cities, have innovative permitting to allow for outside seating. You ever see, I don't know about y'all out here in our region, Long Beach, you're seeing them take over and almost an entire lane of the street and have their seating out there. And it's actually kind of cool. It looks really neat. Gives a little character. You're seeing cities shut down entire streets so that the restaurants can flourish. And we're just saying, on and on and on, innovations for the restaurants and bars and all of that. The Black-owned restaurant industry has been hit hard, especially hard. But if you study our brothers and sisters in that business, you're now seeing, again, the resiliency of the entrepreneur. So today, we wanted to turn a light on to the challenges that Black restaurants might be facing. But moreover, we wanted to share success stories. We wanted to celebrate culinary culture in the body of Black restaurants. After all, it's Black Restaurant Week all over the land. And, we're going to celebrate our folks and examine what the future may look like. And so here to join me today, I've brought a lot of friends with me here. Let's start out in Houston, Texas. I just learned about this, brother. I was thinking about this program and thinking about the plight of my brothers and sisters in the Black restaurant industry. And I looked at the Black Restaurant Week, all of their materials that they're putting out across social media. And I called a few friends that are from this region, Houston, Texas. I said, hey, give me the top Black restaurants in in your part of town. And Lucille's came up a couple of times. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to sip coffee with us. There's Chef Chris Williams. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Also I don't even know how to introduce this next person. She is not only the owner of one of the best legacy restaurants in our city of Los Angeles, in the region, Southern California. She's also just one of my folks. This is, ladies and gentlemen, Desiree Edwards from the world famous Watts Coffee House. Good morning.
Good morning, Greg. Good morning, all my esteemed colleagues. You survivors.
That's right, survivors. All right, good stuff. All right, there's a new thing around here. That's the hot chicken. Whoo, Lord of mercy. So good though, so good. Right there in the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza. That's Martin Luther King and Crenshaw Boulevard. It's technically Marlton, but over there around the way from the, we still call it the Magic Johnson Theater. Hotville Chicken. Kim Prince, good morning. Let's see. We need to unmute you there. There you are. All right. Yay. All right. Good. And let's see. I don't see him in his chair. Well, there he is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Second generation in Los Angeles. If you come to LA and you're looking for the soul food hookup, and you call me and say, "Hey, where do I go?" I'm probably going to tell you, "Oh yeah, you need to roll over there to Dulan's." Good morning, Greg Dulan. Can you hear us? All right. Well, I'm gonna take him off and get into it, and then I'll send him a text so we can get him in there. Okay. All right, Greg Dulan. He over there taking over the whole soul food world in LA. Chris, how you doing, man? In the COVID, in this COVID environment. I mean, how's your family? Let's start there. How's the family? Everybody good?
The family's great. A couple of hard conversations to make my parents realize the gravity of the situation, but they got it, and we got them quarantined in their state. Glad to say, and everybody else is doing well.
All right. Now you have a pretty high-end place there from what I can see there. And tell me a little bit of how COVID has changed your operations. And, just we see people have, I know you had to did you have to lay off a lot of people and all that?
No, surprisingly enough, thankfully enough, as soon as the pandemic came and the closure started here in Houston, which was just after New Orleans, like 2 days after, we completely. You mentioned this is the time to pivot. We switched our whole model and dropped our prices by 40% because we took profitability out of the equation and just focused on sustainability. Sustainability being solely based on keeping my staff working, because anybody who knows anything about restaurants know that about 50% is either not applicable for any kind of government funding, or they're not comfortable with it. So we switched our whole model to give value to our guests, and we just wanted to be able to sustain my payroll. And so to that end, we were able to keep 75% of my staff on, 100% of people who wanted to stay on, who felt comfortable, who wanted to work, they were able to stay on. And then most importantly, 100% of the people that I wanted to keep, we were able to keep.
Yeah,
so
keep the A-team.
Worked out well. There's been a lot of change. Yeah. So it's been an interesting time, obviously, for everybody. Glad to say we're still here.
All right, now, so Kim, how about you? How's it been for you now? I mean, you are a relatively new location, but hey, I know just personally you were going gangbusters, and then COVID hit. What was that like?
Yeah, well, we were in the party blocks and moving off. December 17th, we opened up here at Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza. We have a beautiful 2,700 square foot space. The dining area is our pride and joy because we serve you with all this Nashville twang and essence of Southern country. This is the best way I know how to deliver it. And, seats are always full, hour long, two hour wait on weekends. But the good thing about what we've experienced with COVID is when we didn't see it coming, we got conditioned for service model. I say that because we did 2.5 years of the pop-ups that we did since 2016. And the success of being able to keep an audience and maintain traction with them. I'm excited. The the fact that we've been able to keep the same audience. And although the first 2 weeks was a little stressful, we slowly began to see ourselves climb back out of the hole. We didn't have to do any adjustments to our pricing or our menu because we already have a pared down menu anyway. It's just chicken. We're frying chicken, frying fish, and people just like it. And then I can't say enough about the media attention that's been on it. We're just frying chicken. We're gonna keep doing what we've been doing. Like Chris, my concern was our employees, making sure that we were able to keep our staff. As we had to scale our hours down because that was a requirement here in California. They asked us to pare operations down, cut our schedule back a little bit. So we took 2 hours off the schedule. We now close at 7 o'clock in the evening. We're only open 6 days a week, closed on Mondays. But that gives us time to kind of recover, reset, get ready for the week to start off. But COVID is hurting everybody. And access of the industry has been pretty difficult because the deliveries are late because they've cut, your suppliers are cutting their schedules back. And so, or certain type of product isn't in or they're out of stock and you have to wait a week or you stock the whole lot and you don't have enough storage for it. So we're balancing and sustaining, thank God. I'm not complaining at all. Complaining wouldn't change a thing. So we're going to keep on frying chicken, y'all. And thank you.
All right. Well, let me just ask, okay, Watts Coffee House, how's it going in your world there? One of my favorite places in the whole California.
Well, we're all doing just about the same. I scaled back hours. I haven't decreased my staff. We're fortunate. We do have a base in the area because I have been there for a number of years. So we do have a base clientele. Now, our customers that were happy, enjoy coming dining in, of course, I can see the difference in the numbers. In the first week, that everything was shut down. I've never closed since the pandemic hit because we weren't told we had to close, but we couldn't have the in dining. But our, Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub are, that shoots through the roof. But then, of course, you have to pay a fee to them for utilizing their service. So, when I do the math, I don't like the fee, but we're still getting our product to our customers. So I recently, Saturday, started dining on the patio. Because even when things opened back up, that little bit that we were allowed, I never started back to the in-house dining. I was still doing only takeout. And we just started, allowing customers to sit on our patio because people want to sit inside and dine. They don't want to, they don't want their food to go. They don't want it in styrofoam. And I understand that, but I also have to keep my staff, healthy. I'm concerned about them being healthy. And fortunately, we haven't had any problems, with anyone being ill. But the same as Kim said, the main issue that I've had is getting product. And at some point, beef was sky high. It was unbelievable how much beef was. And, we adjusted, the first couple of months, what I did every Friday, I offered a special because a lot of restaurants weren't open. They didn't, take the time to revamp. They shut down. So I was offering specials at, like gumbo and jambalaya and just, different way out items that people weren't able to get to. And we had a good response with that because it was also a way for people to get out the house. And then, I also had the DJ in house. So on Friday and Saturday, I had live music. Well, not live music, but I had a DJ in there. So when customers come in because they were waiting, we got the music playing and then we were streaming, had it over Facebook. So that worked well because the DJs had Sydney and Paradise. So they have a following. So their friends would come down because they want to see them and they would buy food. So, it's almost, you have to be a magician. Keep things rolling.
All right, that's incredible, incredible. Chris, let me ask you a question now. Out there in Houston, if I go and pick up my friends Desiree, Kim, and Greg Dulan, and we fly down there to Houston and come to your spot, what are we going to eat?
Well, what do you like? We're
I heard that.
Yeah, we're a Southern restaurant with global influences. So that means that we just use all the local ingredients, and then we put international touches on it. It's a reflection.
Razzle dazzle, international razzle dazzle.
Yeah. International. We put our international feet in it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just a reflection of our life experience traveling all over the world, and it manifests itself on the plate.
Yeah, we invited you on today, although our studio's here in Long Beach, California, but we're based in the LA area, and we wanted to reach out to you because we are very cognizant that our platform is international in scope. So we have people listening and watching from all over the place. And so when we saw Houston, that's why we wanted to reach out to you and have you be a part of this conversation, because we're sure that, some of the challenges that you may be having, our brothers and sisters right here are having. And me and Greg Dulan, we're talking about you, a young man coming in with culinary experience and everything, education. What's your background and everything? We were quite impressed as we did our deep dive investigation on Brother Chef Chris Williams. And let's bring Greg in. He's right here.
I appreciate that.
Go ahead, Greg. Chris. No, I'm asking you. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Okay, yes, Greg is there. So tell us a little bit about your background to the people.
So I went to the Cordon Bleu Culinary School in Austin, and like I always tell people, we were mutually unimpressed with each other. It was a budding program, and it didn't really sit well with me. But I went and worked in Europe for 4 years, everywhere from London to Lithuania. And they've been asked to be a culinary. Title. Anyway, I've done tours for the State Department to go out and share culinary arts and our approach to American foodways, African American foodways around Europe, everywhere from Slovenia, Serbia, Albania, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and worked in China and Vietnam and everywhere else. And so I opened Lucille's 8 years ago, and it's a tribute to my great grandmother, who was also a chef. She's just a groundbreaking icon, Texas icon, an American icon, an African American icon. And so it's a celebration of her freedom and her commitment to her craft. And so we sell a couple of her original recipes, and the rest of it's born out of that freedom she had as a culinarian. And so, yeah, we've been here for 8 years, and as far as Houston's concerned, we're kind of opened up a lot of doors for people to see the viability of a Black restaurant model that's not exclusively soul food, showing like the breadth of what Black folks can do. Because we found that it was so, it's so limiting and pigeonholed. Like, if you're a Black chef restaurant, then you got to be doing this. Where's the rice? Where the yams? Where the cabbage at? We took it to another level and opened up a lot of doors, and just proud to be here, proud for the platform, and grateful.
We're proud of you and your culinary culture. Greg Dulan, good morning, sir.
Good morning. I figured it out.
That's what's up.
It was so simple. It was so simple.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me just tell you, first of all, Greg Dulan, this is my dude right here. We went to Africa together, and I love this story because we go to some a musician's home, and we have dinner. And, they play music for us. So that's the headlines of it. So we're sitting there and we're having dinner and we're just chopping it up, having a good time. And I look around and Greg is in the kitchen teaching the people how to make cornbread. And it was really, really awesome. I took a couple pictures on the slide. That's a really good thing. Greg Dulan, ladies and gentlemen. How's things going for you, Brother Greg?
Things are going well. Things are going well. We are thriving in the midst of chaos.
Mm.
Right.
Mhm.
I like that.
Yeah. So now talk about how while you were getting it, we did have a discussion with everybody really briefly on, how they had to pivot or what did they do, when COVID hit. Talk about, the things that you were able to, adjust as we went into this crazy time known as the pandemic.
Well, the word pivot is appropriate because we had to make some major pivots. And one of the things that has been our saving grace has been our connection with the city government and some of the meal programs that they have asked us to participate in supplying meals to the senior citizens of Los Angeles. And so that has been element to us continuing to prosper and survive. And then we just had to really alter the way we do business at our 3 locations. We don't have sit down service anymore. All the customers are getting the food and taking it out. And initially, we made a big mistake. I feel we were trying to adjust and pivot, and we engaged 3 of the third-party delivery companies all at the same time. And I never will forget first day when we started taking orders, I looked up and there were about 30 drivers. We created a pickup window so that the driver could come up to a window that's not a natural pickup window and pick up the food. And I looked up and there were 30 drivers outside. And these drivers are very impatient, very, very impatient. And so, and then we weren't equipped to handle that type of onslaught because we had never done it before. And so that was a learning curve for us. And it's at some point to turn the tablets on. We caught up with the orders and then turn tablets back on. And that was a steep learning curve for us.
Good problem.
Now, let me see, there's everybody. Okay, so let me just ask you all in this time of COVID, well, let me rephrase my question. So each of you represents a very, I guess, your own edition of, culinary culture from an African-American perspective. We've already seen Chef Chris talked about Southern with the global influence. That was pretty cool. Desiree, how would you express your the type of food that we would experience at the Watts Coffee House?
I like to stay traditional American food, so that we're not limited. As Chris said, people see us and they think that's all we prepare. It's beans, greens, cornbread, yam, macaroni, and cheese. So, it's like if we have catered many events and we're in there with the, salmon and just coming there, sautés and people that come to the restaurant are like, I didn't know you made food like this. So, you kind of take a step back and smile. And I say, well, I am a chef. I'm not a cook. I'm a chef.
Yes.
And, I'm not limited in my ability to prepare. I mean, I can prepare sushi. I'm trained. And I'm professionally trained and I'm self-trained.
Wow. That would be really interesting. So I was at the, what's the hotel down there? Intercontinental. And I'm up there on the 70-something floor, and I'm walking around, and they have the sushi bar right there.
Right.
And the chef is a sister.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shoot, soul sushi.
Greg. let me tell you the most, and I'm sure Greg and Kim know about this. There is a restaurant on Florence, or is it Gage and Figueroa, owned by a Hispanic. and everybody black swears that he has the best chitlins they ever had.
Wow.
And guess where he learned? And guess where he learned? From Mississippi Mary of M&M Soul Food.
Oh.
And I'm like, wow,
Right.
swear by his chitlins.
Mhm.
And that's something.
Wow, that is really, really something. All right, so Kim, you're bringing Hotville chicken. That's a Nashville thing. You're bringing it to the West Coast. How's that been?
It's been hot. Hot in a lot of different ways. Nashville hot chicken kind of launched on the scene nationally and then globally around 2007, but it's been in existence since 1936. Started by my family, my great uncle Thornton, his brothers. The love for Nashville hot chicken is astounding to everybody in my family. I'm sure that my great ancestors would be turning over, sitting up in their graves, licking their chops to see how well this recipe has touched many families all over the world. We are doing Nashville style hot chicken. I committed myself to bring the most authentic version of it here to LA, and being the first in the family to go outside the state to do it was a feat itself. We met that challenge head on, and since then, just to see people from all backgrounds and all over the world literally come to try it out and then get hooked on it. I was very confident that Nashville hot chicken was going to sell very, very well, whether it was out the trunk of my car, under a 10x10 tent, or the space that I'm in like right now. So I'm thankful, Greg Dulan's on the line. He's my business partner. There's so much from him. But we don't have to really do anything other than Nashville style hot chicken. That's it. We added fish to the menu. We're playing around with tacos. We've got a new potato chip that we launched 2 weeks ago. And so, yes, like my counterparts that are on the line, Chris and Desiree, too, we're able to roll up our sleeves and demonstrate that we have other skill sets outside of the traditional Nashville style hot chicken that I do. Self-taught. I grew up standing on a pickle bucket at the age of 8 in the restaurant. Some 47 years later, here I am, owner, and proud to put on the chef jacket that's behind me and get in the kitchen and work some magic. I'm a student of the art of food, and I love the restaurant industry. I love going in and talking to other GMs and owners. If I can work my way in the kitchen, I will. And I've done it many times, but I love to, look at equipment, and I just love it, like being in the kitchen anyway. And commercial equipment is something that just blows the breeze with my skirt, unlike other folks. I like that kind of thing. Right. So I love being in this industry, and like Chris and Desiree and Greg, I'm the baby and the new kid on the block, but we're blazing.
Yes, that's a good thing. I know, Chris, I saw something where it says you're also a sommelier. Is that correct?
No, it's not. I drink a lot of wine. I'm not a trained sommelier.
All right. Well, I was going to ask you this really abstract question. So Snoop Dogg has his own line of wine. Have you tried it?
No, I haven't.
I mean, it's in the, look, it's in the store, so he must be, it's on and popping, I haven't tried it yet, but it's a rich red, I think,
That makes sense, but I haven't seen it. It hadn't made its way to Texas.
Okay.
But there's high demand on everything black. I'm sure he's going to kill it.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Greg, did you know about that? Snoop Dogg's new
No,
wine?
I didn't. No. What does he call it?
I can't recall the name of it, but it's in the Albertsons.
Oh, okay.
Like got his own standalone and everything, and it's about $13 a bottle. So he's in there. I guess he's trying to be a upscale brand. But yeah, Snoop Dogg.
It's called Cali Red.
Cali Red, yes, thank you. That's right. Yeah. So would you serve that there at the Watts Coffee House there, Desiree?
Well, I don't have a liquor license, but if you come on second Saturday, we had that blowout.
Yeah.
when we get off a lockdown, we'll have some at room temperature for you.
That's
Cali
right.
Red.
Cali Red. All right.
But that's the hot thing now for celebrities that have a wine or some type of vodka in their name. So he's joining the ranks of E40 and the likes. So maybe he'll be successful like George Clooney and sell it for some obscene amount of money, huh?
Yes. A lot of people making a difference. Now, Chris over there in Houston, speaking of hip hop crossing lines here, I can't let us get away with asking this question, but so Scarface of the Ghetto Boys running for city council down there, hey? What do you think about that?
He hosted one of his fundraisers at my restaurant. He didn't win. Good shot.
Okay. Oh, he didn't win, but he got it. He gave it.
Him and Willie D were running at the same time, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Wow. Isn't that something? But I'm sure he had a lot to say for the community and everything. Now, I would like to ask all of you. So, you're thriving businesses in the Black community. We know the restaurant industry is essential to our culture and essential, in the life of our communities. What do you do to support, or I don't want to use the word give back, but I don't have another one. So just to give back to the community, talk about some of the things that you're doing to, help build up the community. Go ahead, Chris, you start.
Okay. Well, since the pandemic started, we survived Hurricane Harvey and all that stuff down here, and just like that, and Maria for Puerto Rico. So we donated 3,000 meals to first responders in the first month of the shutdown, and then since then we partnered up with World Central Kitchen for 2 weeks, and we fed about. I think we did about close to 12,000 meals. And since World Central Kitchen left, which happens when the cameras leave, when the cameras left, they left. We couldn't just turn our back on the need. So since then, we've had over 45,000. We've donated over 45,000 meals to a nonprofit, which targets our communities exclusively. So these are elderly Black folks on assisted living that don't have access to like programs like the food bank. They either don't have access to transportation or access to the information. And so what we've done is I created a menu that speaks specifically to us, like our families from 70 years old. We know what we like to eat. We know what they like to eat. So I created a menu that's nutritious, delicious, approachable, and familiar. And we serve these people 5 days a week. And right now we do 850 meals a day out of my kitchen that I've acquired over 2 months ago. So we've been doing this for 2 months, and we're over 45,000 meals that we've donated so far. And so we're looking to grow and build other satellites of this initiative that go with you. So we have community gardens that we're working on right now, so we can not only give them the nutrition they need, but give them access to the freshest of produce. And we're trying to be self-sustaining. So we have 2 kitchens right now that we're doing it out of, and we're looking just to build more because you got to think about these nursing homes and stuff like that. Like these people are coming their families, and they don't even have kitchens in their room, right? Like there's no kitchen. So I mean, they have a microwave, and maybe they have a little hot plate or something like that, but then they have to go out to the grocery stores on their own to go get their food, and then come back and prepare it. And it's just it couldn't be a worse time to be in that kind of situation. So we've taken the initiative, and right now we deliver to 7 communities throughout Houston, and we're looking to add more. The goal initially was to do 1,000 meals a day. I think now the new goal is to do 1,500 a day out of the one main kitchen, and then we'll add more. So that's our give back piece so far.
All right, Greg, talk about your actions here. What are we doing to give back? I mean, you got a long list, I already know, but share with the peoples.
Well, we're also donating meals, and we're teamed up with a local Baptist church. And I guess for the last 3 months, we've donated 300 meals a day. And hunger, the need for these meals is real. I've seen it close up. We've been doing a lot with the hospitals, going to the hospitals like Martin Luther King Hospital and feeding responders in the ICU and the emergency rooms. You've got next week we're going to Children's Hospital to feed 850 responders. But more importantly, the meals are important. One of the ways I like to think that we give back to the community is just by being here, being successful. And you should see all of the young people that we have working for us at our 3 Dulan locations and our Hotville Hotville chicken restaurant. And a lot of these kids that work for us, this is their first job. I just recently posted a picture of a young lady who is 18 years old, who Kim is training to make pecan pies. And I posted a picture of the young lady holding a pie that she baked and got 400 likes. And I think all the pies sold out that same day, if Kim will back me up on that. I like what we do in terms of creating jobs and being an example of successful entrepreneurship in the Black community in Los Angeles. And that's something that my dad did, and God willing, I'll be able to carry that forth into the future.
Well, I knew your dad, and I know you and your brother, and I know Kim, and I think you all are doing a fine job on carrying on the legacy. I just want to say that publicly. You doing your thing there, my brother. Good stuff. Good stuff. I have to share a life experience. I'm at an age now where I just take experiences and relish them, whatever it is. And man, Greg Dulan was, they call on him all over the city, you guys. And as you know, the Rams and Chargers are building a brand new stadium out there in Inglewood, California. And I stopped by Greg's, and he said, hey, I just stopped by to say hello. And he said, hey, I'm testing out these burgers, and I'm like, what? Yeah, try one of these burgers. So I go into his spot, I taste the burger, and he says, well, look, we're about to feed 5,000 construction workers at the stadium. Why don't you come out? And so Greg had me out there grilling hot dogs and hamburgers for 5,000 construction workers, gave me a chef jacket and whatnot. And it was really, really an incredible experience. First of all, to be on that construction site and see the magnitude of the project, but just to see to stand literally at the shoulder of Greg Dulan and watch him run that whole operation was really, really fabulous and a great experience. I mean, I learned a lot right there just watching my brother Greg Dulan. Thank you for that experience, sir.
And you didn't burn one burger or one hot dog. So thank you. Thank you.
Had a good time. Kim, tell us what you're doing to give back to the community.
Greg, I was there when you didn't burn any hamburgers, so I'm a witness that you didn't burn anything.
Look, I got skills now.
I got a chef jacket for you too. Again, Greg Dulan is on the line with us. My business partner, a mentor for a couple of years prior to joining us at Hotville. But I spent a lot of time shadowing him, and one of the things he taught me was you want to grow your business through giving. And I couldn't agree more with that. What helped Hotville, particularly even before COVID, was we connected with the community that ran. I think one of our first events was 2,500 pieces of chicken to the community for a Wonderland event here at the mall. Since COVID happened, the Emergency Senior Meal Program, sponsored by Marquise Harris Dawson in District 8, that's our councilman. Their office called at a very important time, right when COVID restrictions were keeping us from opening the dining rooms. The very next week, we started the Senior Meal Program, and that program has gotten a lot of attention nationally. We've got people who are continuing to donate money toward that program for us to feed seniors and pay it forward. We've got frontline workers. We did teenagers through with Twitter, with the Covenant House and Twitter sponsoring that. Right up the street is a lovely little elementary school with hundreds of students who are learning by working with the principal, that these young people have such a food disparity where, you know, school lunch was the only meal that those young people were getting. So since the end of June through the month of July and up to now, we are doing about 80 meals for kids that are under the age of 12 at an elementary school, feeding them each week. And it's a lot of work for you know, a new business like ours, and we welcome it. And the need for the community has, it's inspiring to see their faces light up, and these little hands hold sandwiches. They're twice as big as they are. But in addition to that, not only did we feed the kids, but the families got fed as well. So it always tripled and doubled the number. The new thing that's going on, is some of the growth giving type of events, some grab and go events that have been happening through LA Regional Food Bank, through the Crenshaw Chamber of Commerce, and I'm meeting all of these new organizations since we've opened up our doors, and we're creating new relationships out there. To piggyback off of what Greg has said, is also another piece of our growth has been working with young people in the community. They live right around the corner. They walk to work. We've got a solid school. We're up to about 23 employees now. We're down to 26 prior to COVID, and we're back up to 23 employees, which is a good thing. However, they are from the neighborhood. They walk to work. They ride their bikes to work. And we're excited that these young people can say that they're gainfully employed, and they are learning to navigate the kitchen. We're trying to educate them the best way we know how. We're bringing in outside resources to help teach them as well, get them their kitchen manager's license, making sure that they have their food handler card, which is required, but we're trying to make kitchen managers out of them and get them tested as well.
Mm-hmm. Awesome stuff. Desiree, what's going on in the Watts Coffee House?
You know, it's always something going on in the Watts, period. So when the pandemic hit, of course, you know, the frontline workers were working very hard and, you know, having limited time to nourish their bodies properly. So we fed at Keck over in East LA. We fed for 2 days. We fed, I think it was $250 one day, $300 the next day. This is like 3 weeks in. We did this. We partnered with Smart and Final, did the same over at King Drew. And then in the midst of the George Floyd murder happened. And so 2 of my friends got together and decided they wanted to do a unity rally. So in 1 week, they put this together. Their goal was to have 500 Black men in black suits, white shirts, and ties. We meet up at the Long Beach Convention Center and just have a day of unity, but it was for the Black men. So when I saw they were doing this, I called them. I said, so, you know, who's doing food? And they said, no one. I said, okay, I'll donate the food. So they were like, okay. So, you know, you figure with everything that's going on. And of course, the Black man is the one who is, you know, low on the totem pole, and they need our support. So there were a lot of women there as well that were the support staff, you know, taking care, making sure everything was good. So we got masks, Black Men Matter, the whole thing. When I tell you, you guys can Google it, Black Men Matter. They came out. We had a couple of sororities and a couple of fraternities. They're deep. And we had over 500 Black men. We took this fantastic photo on the steps of the Long Beach Convention Center. It was so moving. So I shut down the coffee house and I cooked a full breakfast. Because the thing is this, Greg will tell you, Harold was a great one about having food somewhere. And, you feed people and you move them. So we did grits, shrimp grits, turkey sausage, every biscuits. I did SOS, which we call it a Nate, but it's the gravy with the ground beef in it. We gave them a hearty breakfast, fruit, orange juice, coffee, water, everything. And they were just absolutely amazed because they said, we thought we was just going to have some orange juice and some Danish. You can't have no black people out at 6 o'clock in the morning to give them some orange juice and Danish. They need some grits. And when I tell you guys that event was put together in 1 week, that was the most moving morning. It was phenomenal. I have another organization that want us to bring the same model to the Bay Area. So all that, and then currently for the past 2 months, every Friday, we're distributing fresh produce boxes to the community, first come, first serve. So I was partnered with a young lady that just had it on her heart. She came and talked to me and said, would you be interested in working with me to feed the community? And I can get the produce at a discount if you work with me. I told her, sure, no problem. So there's an entity, gives us some good produce. 1 week we had some Beyond Meat. And when I tell you guys some of the best, fresh, beautiful produce, outstanding. So last Thursday, I get a call from another organization I work with year round. They're like, Desiree, we have like 522-pound boxes of produce. Can we come to the Watts Coffee House and give them out? So now I have 2 trucks on the lot. We distributed over 1,000 boxes of produce last Friday to the community. It was, people calling like, we can't get in the parking lot. I'm like, park on the street or we'll bring it out there to you. But, because we got a line going through the parking lot, you roll in, throw it in your car and go. Wow. It was amazing. Wow. It was amazing. So we'll have the same thing this Friday. It's going to go on indefinitely. Because a lot of people, are hungry, like Greg said. It's amazing how you give someone a meal and you see the smile on their face. You give them a quality meal, some meat, bread, a vegetable, and people will tell you, wow, I haven't eaten like this in days. And then when you don't have a limit, when you say you want 2, it's amazing. It makes you cry because here we're eating good, even though all this is going on. Like my little niece say, we have 99 options in the refrigerator. She keep on, we have 99. Everybody doesn't have that. So it's good to share. It's just good to share. And what does it cost you to cook somebody a pan of grits? I mean, come on. It ain't that hard. It's not. If it gives somebody a meal and they can sleep well that night and their soul is happy, we doing what God loves. That's the way I look at it. And our blessings, my blessings, I look to stay healthy and be able to go to work every day. That's what I look forward to.
Man, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So listen, we're approaching the end of our time together here. Chris, let me just ask you a question. I ask all the entire panel. So what's the future looking like? So now here we are, times are uncertain, but as you look forward, what do you see?
I see like an amazing awakening happening right now. Like we were fortunate enough to, we hosted Joe Biden and the Floyd family for their historic meet over at the restaurant right before the protest, or right after the protest in Houston. And I see this awakening, like Black folks starting to recognize the power of their economic power. Where they're claiming it, they're reclaiming it. And I don't think I think like all these other trends, like these other people, like the appropriation of our food and all this other kind of stuff, any kind of ice bucket challenge, I think this one has like staying power. So I think I think we're about to shake things up. And I mean, it's no time for sleep right now. It's time to like seize the moment and take full advantage of what's going on.
So Joe Biden came by your spot, huh?
Yeah, Uncle Joe.
All right. Well, Greg, he came by your spot too, eh?
Yeah, Joe knows where to go. Joe knows where to go.
No, that's right.
That's why
I don't
president.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
So, Greg, when you look to the future, what do you see?
Well, someone asked me this question last week, and the Black Lives Matter movement and protests have brought the byproduct of that has been a focus on Black-owned businesses, Black-owned restaurants, unlike anything I've never seen before in my 30 years in business. We're getting calls from people that don't normally call to look at doing business with us in some way. We're getting calls from people that want to donate services, things like that. And we had one of the top food photographers in Los Angeles donate her time, and she came and took pictures at Dulan's and at Hotville, and just some beautiful pictures. The discussion around Black-owned businesses and the fact that they need to be uplifted and supported is it's unprecedented. And so, I did live through the Rodney King riots. I have experienced this before, and I can tell you that after the Rodney King riots, the same thing happened. But after a couple of months, it dissipated and disappeared. So I hope that the focus on the importance of the success of Black-owned businesses that operate in Black communities maintains and continues long-term, because we do have an important role to play. And quite frankly, it's a role that others haven't been willing to play. Cheesecake Factory on Crenshaw. You don't see some of the other major businesses on Crenshaw Boulevard because they have neglected communities. And there's a lot of opportunity here. So, I think it's going to be better. It's going to be better. Yeah, it's going to be better.
All right, Kim, you look to the future. What do you see?
A lot of hot chicken. A lot of hot chicken.
That's right.
Yeah,
yes, that's good.
Every interview I've done, I always tell people, say, just pray for the chicken farmers. Lord, don't let anything happen to the
Girl.
chicken. But I'm excited about the future of Hotville. We're going to continue to grow and scale the business. We're not going to, you got to see your problems still on, keep doing good and doing good. We reap the benefits of those seeds being in the ground. We've been fortunate to be able to see the benefits of our goodwill already coming back to us. Everybody's talking about the Black Lives Matter and the protest movements, and I am happy and proud to be Black. I encourage people who don't look like me to seek out opportunities to come and go to our restaurants, wherever they might be. All of our restaurants aren't necessarily in all Black neighborhoods, but go where the service is good, support the brand that you enjoy, bring your families out, tell somebody, take an extra bag with you, and share it with somebody on your block. While Black Lives are mattering, I think the narrative is really important for us to just continue to display the strength of what we do in the restaurant industry, and that's provide the best service we know how, serve fresh products, and source from the best places. The suppliers that are, diversify your supplier pool is something that's really important for us as well. Had a conversation with a business partner yesterday and another colleague on the East Coast about Black restaurant groups and do they exist. And so, on our people, being spotlight being on us, we have to make sure we can our best foot forward and demonstrate excellence at all costs.
All right, Desiree, what's in the future?
I see this Oxtail Philly at Lucille's in my future. I need to get to Houston. Oxtail Philly. How that sound?
You
Don't
know
that
what?
sound good?
Hey, you know what? We need to arrange a trip, all of us on this
Come
call,
on.
and roll up on Chris.
No, seriously. I
Yes.
love Houston.
I
love
got a
Houston.
question.
Go ahead, Greg.
How's the Breakfast Club doing? That's one of my favorite restaurants.
The Breakfast Club's an institution. They keep their lines, and now the only difference between the old world and the new world is that now it's socially distanced. But they're still killing it.
Those are some nice people.
Yeah.
Very nice family. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Marcus is great. He's in the restaurant community, and
Houston
happy to
is full of
stay still.
hospitality.
Houston has a thriving African American restaurant scene. I mean, they just
It does, and now it's changed a little bit. It was the Breakfast Club and barbecue houses and soul food, but now we've gotten some real range, and the new talent that's on the team is just incredible. What these kids are doing.
You guys have some real range. Yeah.
We need to go. But also touching on what I see in the future, the pandemic has been unfortunate, but I see the silver lining in the cloud for us. The good part is that all of our businesses, our face is known, people know us, and people are happy to see that we're sustaining. And when this does lift, I just see that they're going to support us even more wholeheartedly, because they're going to be so happy that what's familiar to them is there. Because, with gentrification coming into the community, of course, this put all this somewhat on a hold. And we love what's familiar to us. And we also love walking into the place. You want to walk in there and say, hey, Kim, hey, Greg. Who don't know Greg Dulan? Who don't know Greg Dulan? You know what I mean? So, and people are proud. So I'm proud, because when I drive past his place on Century, I pass the place on Manchester, the line out the door. I love it. I love it. And I'm happy that, the ones that we know are still here, and people who have came along in the midst of this storm and opened a business. So I see for us of color, I just see us shining and even going beyond once this all lifts, because we stayed the course. We didn't shut down and board up our place and say, okay, we just gonna wait it out. We in there, moving to the beat. And, with Kim's place, hot chicken, Black people love spicy. So, she has fried chicken. You can go over here and get your spicy fried chicken in the whole shebang. And that's what we need. We have that variety right in our own community. It's not McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell on our corner. We have food that's being prepared, quality food that's being prepared. So I see us striving, moving right on along and being great. And, Greg already got his spot. Kim gonna have another. We're gonna talk that up.
What I really think is that the most important thing about this, like the reason why we're all thriving, us here and then everybody else, like this is the fact, is like we're born, like we're built for this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like which one of us up with a real startup capital? None of us had any capital. We know how to navigate when times get hard, like dig in and make it work. So that's why we're primed for this moment. So we just got to stay the course and tap into what got us to this point so far, and success is not inevitable, but damn near.
Greg don't. Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris. Greg don't fit in that equation. He come from restaurant history. His family is historical, and I'm talking about when I was a kid. In the restaurant industry, he has a very solid foundation in this industry.
Yeah, but there's history and then there's capital, and I know his ancestors, the people that had those restaurant businesses, they had to do it the hard way. And when they passed on that legacy to him, he didn't get $100 million to go open up.
I don't know.
Trust me.
Trust me. You should have met his dad.
Yes.
His dad, man, his dad was
Man, Adolph Dulan was the man.
When I tell you Aunt Kizzy's back porch,
Yes.
they was coming from Sudan.
Oh man.
He could tell you the who's who of everything in the world went to Aunt Kizzy's back porch.
Pay it forward.
That's right. That's right. All right, y'all. It's Black Restaurant Week. We're celebrating. Let's see. Chris, your website.
WeSoldHouston.com.
All right. You got that one. Greg Dulan, website.
DulansOnCrenshaw.com.
Kim Prince, website.
Real easy. HotvilleChicken.com.
Real simple.
Desiree, Watts Coffee House, website.
WatchCoffeehouse.com. Keep it real simple.
All right. Last question, Chris. Can I Grubhub? Can you Grubhub to Long Beach?
I don't use one.
I want that oxtail Philly.
I'll FedEx it.
Man, you know what? I'll tell you a quick story. I was talking to a record company rep one time who was in Philadelphia, and I just said, man, I sure would like one of those Philly cheesesteaks. Do you know I got one in Federal Express the next day?
Whoa.
Hey, place your order. We'll make it happen.
It was okay. All right. That's
So,
what's up.
wait, Greg, I always remember you asking me a long time ago, do I make the patties for the burgers, right? So Chris has a butcher burger. That house ground patty.
Chris,
I'm all over your menu. I'm all over your menu.
And your food are beautiful.
I love your menu. I love your menu.
Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
We follow you. Definitely follow you.
I follow you. Apparently, you paved the way. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Wait, and butterbean hummus. How about that?
Y'all just need to come on down. You can read it all.
No, we gonna make that happen.
I have family there. I'm gonna definitely tell them today to go check you out. But I promise you, I'll be there.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I really appreciate all being a part of this and allowing me to be a part of it. I got to run to the restaurant now.
All right. Yes, you got it. Yeah, everybody. I know you guys got to go. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Coffee Conversations with Greg J. Everybody, is Black Restaurant Week. This week, I want you to go to any one of these restaurants, support these great people here, and just know that that's the restaurants are an essential part of our community. We got to have them, and we got to support them. And you see, they're giving back to the community, and we want to give back to them. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Kim. God bless you. Have a prosperous day. I'm gonna figure out which. Let's see. I think I'll start at Watts Coffee House, swing up the freeway to Hotville, and finish my day at Dulan's and place my order online for my FedEx burger from Lucille's in Houston. God bless you all. And remember, love one another. Love one another. Love one another.
Love y'all.
Peace and blessings.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.